on part 2 where we left off, we're gonna go over adding to this vocal chain rack for anyone who wants to kind of learn how to mix more and stuff. This is just basic rack. I'm not going to put too many plugins, and I'm going to try and use mostly Ableton stock with some plugins, but you know, you can just use the Ableton stock plugins if that's all you have. Those will work, you know, they'll do. So anyways, we're going to start out by adding, bringing up the volume on this because it's a little low right now. So let's check it out. Right now the beat is still way, the beat is hitting harder than the vocals. So we want to bring these vocals up. And the trick is to, you know, like this is a lower input, like this was recorded on a lower input. See how small the WAV file is? That's kind of something you gotta work with on the beginning with gain staging, but you want to make sure it's, because if it's too small of a audio file like this, when you bring it up, you're gonna hear a lot of white noise unless you're using like pro, you know, recording gear. So just make sure like the input gain is decent, but this one's small, but I'm a master, so I'll take, you know, shit and make it gold. But this'll, you know, just try and gain stage it right, because that helps along the way. Because the, you know, the main audio file input is very important. Make sure it's clean take, you know, because you can't take, you know, we can do a lot as mix engineers, but we can't take everything out, you know. So anyways, we'll get back into this. I'm kind of ranting. We'll get on bringing it up. So I'm going to bring in one more compressor, and I'm going to use a Slate Digital compressor because I love Slate Digital. I'm going to put one of their mix racks in. So add one of these guys in. If you have Slate Digital, I mean, it's $9.99 a month for all their plugins. It's amazing. It's the, you know, it took my mixes super to the next level. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a compressor real quick. And I'm going to put the input up way high to make sure it's off 10 shots of the rum. See, that's way high, but at least it's registering now, so I can kind of play with the input. Off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Okay, and now that input's good. It's reducing. I'm gonna put it to the 8 ratio. Off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Now I'm feeling numb. And then I'm gonna play with the output. This is the volume. Off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Now I'm feeling numb. Now I'm feeling numb. I'm numb. Off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. So this is before, with no compression on there at the end, and then we'll bring off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Now I'm feeling numb. Now I'm feeling numb. That sounds good at 86%. Numb. Off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Now I'm feeling numb. Without it, it's way quiet now. Off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is add in this virtual channel. This gives it like a little white noise sound. So I put it up to this guy. This is the Trident. I call it God mode because it puts a little like nice like vintage hardware sound on. So off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Now I'm feeling numb. Play it right there. Off 10 shots of the rum. Gives it like a warm sound. And then next I'm gonna put like a trimmer. This is just a limiter. Think of it. Off 10 shots of the drip down my tongue. Now I'm feeling numb. Now I'm feeling numb. Nice, that sounds good. And then I'm gonna put revival on the end. This is something to thicken it up and give it like more shine. And then revival. And then now I'm gonna add this guy in kind of at the end. And this is gonna be another type of EQ. So I'm gonna take about, a little bit off the low cut, and then let's see. And then I'm gonna take some more lows out. Now the vocals are starting to shine. So like, this is before the rack. Ready? You can't even hear the vocals pretty much. And now with it. So that sounds pretty good for like vocal loudness and stuff. I'm gonna trim it a little more and then bring it up. Okay, that sounds good, and I'm gonna put one more EQ in, and this is just gonna pick the pick the frequency. I'm gonna take around. Oh, take that out, wrong one. Ear EQ. Yep, one more trimmer. So this is another trimmer, and it gives it some more tape drive. So I'm going to trim it barely. Then we're just going to bring up the volume a little bit as well. I need a tiny bit more volume in there. But that sounded pretty good. It's where I want it. I'm off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Now I'm feeling numb. Now I'm feeling numb. I'm off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Now I'm feeling numb. Now I'm feeling numb. Yeah. And then I want to take more low out. I'm off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Now I'm feeling numb. Now I'm feeling numb. I'm off 10 shots of the rum. Let it drip down my tongue. Now And then I'm just taking the beat down a little bit more because I don't want to jeopardize like the sound of the vocals, because you can bring it up during the master.